Hey guys, welcome back to City Skylines Let's Play, episode number 3. So, jumping straight back in, I really want to get rid of this industrial zone here because I hate the pollution, which I mentioned in the last episode. But, that's going to get fixed. I build on my neighborhood a little bit. There's not a whole ton of growth in this episode, actually. It's kind of sad, but there's a good amount. I really focused on changing up my residential area because I really didn't like how it looked or quite how it was functioning, and I don't think it would have functioned better once I got a bigger population. And the reason I zoomed in on that highway entrance is because I saw that there were a bunch of those cars parked there, and I didn't understand why. I still don't know why. There shouldn't be any cars parked there because, well, there's no buildings with their driveways facing that way. So I don't understand why they're parked on that one-way road like that. And I'm not quite sure how to fix that, but I will check it out later. So here I was trying to make a giant one-way system to try and reduce the amount of traffic jams that will cause and could have caused. That way it just keeps flowing one way, so that I find that works a lot faster sometimes. I also grow my commercial a fair bit, which is good because once you get that to a decent amount, you're set. And you're just going to keep going further. So as you can tell in this episode, I changed up the intro a tiny bit. Well, not the intro, but the episode. In the bottom right corner, I think I'm going to keep the episode numbers there too, instead of only in the intro. I don't know why. If you guys don't give a shit, let me know. But I like it. But we'll see. It's up to you guys. So here I decided that I didn't want a bunch of cars stopping and making a mess on my main road because that's just super annoying. But then I changed it right away and made that all commercial because I don't really care about what the first thing my brain says is sometimes. So, and then as I did in the residential areas, I deleted that one block. That way it keeps traffic flowing better. Same as I did in the residential zone. Like I said in previous episodes, if you guys want to leave a comment with whatever name you would like this area to be, I'll go through all the comments and pick my favorite at some point, and then that'll be its name. And then later down on the road, if I get enough viewers and stuff, I'll let you guys start naming districts and everything too. Once I get to that point where I have, more than 1 or 2 districts, because that's not very many and I don't care about the names at that point. So now again, I'm just going along and changing up intersections to how I feel they'll function best for the amount of population and traffic that I have. And I believe that does it for that main road. That way traffic's constantly moving except for at the main intersection there in the middle. So I don't know if I, in the last part, put in the a clip where I finished that bridge to where it goes over the train tracks. I'm not sure if that's in the last episode or not, but yeah, I did that. So that way over there I can start making my industry, which I do not do at all. I totally left that square alone the way it was, because, yeah, I'll explain that more later. So here I was thinking about how I can expand my city and expand my residential area and get this city kind of headed towards the design that I wanted. So that's kind of what I was doing here. And this is my industry zone. This is where I'm going to put the industry, because you can see the color change in the grass there. That tells me the grass will change to different colors depending on what kind of natural element there is there, whether there's oil or whether it's good fertile land for farming, which this is. Or dark green is really good for forestry. So I would like to get some forestry, and I want to have farming. I could have a little bit of oil. I haven't totally decided on that yet, but I don't think I'm going to leave this farming town here past the point I have to. So once I get a bigger farming, like a bigger area of fertile land on another tile, then I'm going to immediately start dezoning all that as industry and rezoning it over to where the bigger spot is, because this I want to be high density. The closer to the river, I want it to be high density, with high density commercial eventually. And if there's farming here, that is not really going to be possible, because the land value probably won't go up too much, and waterfront properties always have a larger land value. So I would like the largest land value possible, so I think that just makes sense, because then you keep making more money and it just gets better from there. More money means I can just make a bigger city, make the people happier, and that's what I want to do. So again, I'm not necessarily here with the roads the same as I did in the residential zone. I'm not necessarily snapping on those little circles you can see, those bend points. Those are each 10 tiles, but I'm not necessarily following those because I like to get as much zoned area as possible. So the way I do it, I don't know if it was the most efficient, but it's not bad at all, and I'm not going to leave it like this in the end, because honestly what I did here is kind of terrible. So, yeah, I'm not planning to keep it like this at all. I'm going to see if that's going to be my goal for episode 4. Whether it's possible or not, I'm not sure, but that is definitely my goal. But yeah, that was just terrible road design. Terrible. But, you know, whatever. It'll get fixed, or I'll leave it like that until I delete it. So, I don't see much of a problem with that. Not at all. And then again, I'm just trying to get as much zonable area as possible. It looks real shitty, but it's not really the biggest plot of fertile land. It's not really even a great size. But I really wanted to steer my city away from the polluting industry as soon as possible. So on some other maps that I've played, there's bigger plots of fertile land in areas that you either start with or that you can, that are right up against yours and stuff like that. So it made it easier in other maps, but I'm able to make do. So here I'm going to make a district. That way I can specify it as agriculture / farming. I think they call it farming, but I'm going to call it agriculture sometimes, and other times I'm going to be lazy and not. But yeah, if I specialize this as farming or whatever the hell they call it, then immediately I can start dezoning my polluting industry and start transferring them over here, which is really good, because that's what I want to do. And then it will just strictly be that there. If that's all I put there, like if I just zone that as industry, which I do, it'll all be farms, every single one of them. Gotta make sure I hook up all the water, because that could cost you if you forget for too long and start on another big project. I've done that a couple times where I'll make a plot like this for industry or residential or something, and then I'll let them start moving in, and then I'll just forget to give them the water and stuff, so they start complaining and then moving out, and then I start losing money, and I'm in the middle of a big project, and then it's already too late, and I have to just kind of restart from that, which is something I want to avoid, if possible, because I wouldn't want to cause myself a headache. I'm probably going to make a big mistake at some point in this Let's Play, but that's okay. That's the whole point of it. That way you guys can see my mistakes and stuff. I don't know, if you guys want a different version of this content where it's more cut down so you see like only the real actiony parts, let me know too, because I can trim it down in editing more than I am. To the point where you don't see all of this slow, monotonous little bits. Some people are into this, like I am. This is the kind of video I like to watch. Other people don't, so let me know your preferences. That way I can accommodate. One of my favorite parts is always doing the zoning. I don't know why. It feels like the final little piece in the puzzle to all the hard work you just put in and stuff. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. Could be just me. I don't know. I'm weird sometimes, so I wouldn't be surprised. I was kind of torn with what to do with that little square there. I wasn't sure if I should attach it to the main road or not. I'm pretty sure I end up attaching it to the main road, but at the time, I didn't think I was wanting to put the driveway on the main road, but I did for most of the other zoning against the main road. It's all on it, so I didn't really care at the end. I'm pretty sure I fixed it and made it the whole thing. Because otherwise that zone, as it was, how I just left it, wasn't even being used, so. Now I'm going to slowly start dezoning this. Not too much at one time, or all the thing at once. Okay, that's what I did. Or I'm going to do it all at once, because my industrial demand is so high that I can just go right back down and start zoning it right away. So you see it take a bit of a hit, but that's because I just deleted a whole bunch, and it's slowly filling up here. Well, filling as fast as it can, with the little amount of availability I gave it. So yeah, I do fix it. Good. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not. I was pretty sure I fixed it, but I wasn't 100% sure. Now it's kind of just a waiting game. Really, I'm just waiting for my residential demand to go up because it's very low. I don't have one right now, and that's not good. I want to keep expanding. And I think that's what I do here. Yep. I start to expand here. I don't really care about destroying all these power lines here because I gotta move them anyway. Why on earth did I do it like that? Looking back at this in editing, and I just realized I did something so stupid. I should have connected that with the other 6-lane road that connects to the farming area. Okay, well that's going to be the first thing I fix in episode 4, which I'm going to be recording right after I finish doing the voiceover for this. So yeah, that started problems right away, and it could have gotten really bad if I didn't attach that again right away. But thankfully I'm not a total idiot, and I remembered to fix it right away. Otherwise it could have gone really bad, but thankfully I can remember things. So here the zoning kind of got screwed up a little bit, but I didn't see a whole lot I could do with it. I might fix it. I don't remember. No, I don't. I don't think. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't quite remember, but I hope I do. So now I'm looking at expanding this way up here now. I wasn't quite sure how many to go over, but I kind of just picked a random number and went with it, to be honest. I had to recount a few times. But, you know, I wanted to make sure I got it right. You know, usually I don't measure twice and I only cut 1,000,000 times, but here I decided to measure 1,000,000,000,000 and then cut once, so that's what happened. I was hoping to get that marker to come out all the way, that way I can see exactly where to attach it, but it didn't, so I don't remember. Yeah, I just make this one go out all the way. and then connect them like that, because that was simpler for me. So in a second, I'm going to start looking to change up how the power lines are, because I hate how they're running through that main road there. And one of my viewers told me that I should switch it up so that way they're not so close to the houses, and I was already planning to do so, but this just gave me a reason to do it right away. You'll see in a second. I don't remember when I thought of it, but I know I did. I think I'd do it right before I do all the roads in here, because they're in the way and annoying, but maybe I don't. I don't know. We'll find out together. How about that? Yeah, see, it looks like I'm looking at the power lines there, figuring out what I can do. And then looking at my demand. Gotta make sure you keep up with your demand. It's easy to kind of space out and just pay attention to what you're doing, but if you don't pay attention to your need, then it can get out of control and be hard to recover from. So apparently I'm not getting rid of those yet, but I know I do. What I'm doing here is I'm skipping every other one. So that way what I can do is I can limit extremely the amount of traffic, or just the amount of intersections on those main roads. Because there's a lot with the first system that I had, so I'm switching that up so that way there's half the intersections on it, which I think will be good and help reduce the amount of traffic. The way I set it up here, I made it so that way only people who live there are really using that zone, because usually the AI tries to find its fastest way, and the 6-lane roads are a lot faster than the 2 lanes. So generally they'll want to rather use the 6-lane. They don't always, but normally that's how it goes. So especially the way I do it, or I'm going to do it in a little bit, I find works really well for keeping the AI out of there if they don't live there or something like that. So again, just keeping up with my industrial demand so that way I can keep growing and I can keep working towards the green, and I can get away from those coal power plants and I can go to the water turbines, because I find for the price they're very effective until I can get solar or something like that. They're very effective. The windmills are not very effective. They don't create very much power. I would need a lot of them. The max they generate is 8 megawatts, or 8 whatever unit it uses, opposed to 20 units for the water turbines. So I much prefer that. I'm pretty sure the water turbines are only 3,000 more. 3 or 6,000. They're 3 or 6,000 more than the regular wind turbine costs. So here's where I do that magic little thingy to get rid of the power lines. Is I see I have a high residential demand, so I start by zoning this. That way people build there. So that way they'll connect to the power of the industry there and take it all the way up to everything else. So that way I can eliminate a lot of the power lines that I have, all in one sweep. Now I'm just waiting here to make sure that it all goes, so that way I can see when they all connect and stuff. so that way I don't take the power lines down too early. If I did take them down early, it shouldn't have mattered too much, but rather be safe than sorry. So yeah, now I get to do the fun of mass deleting all of the power lines. Pretty nice, because now I have all my zoning back, and they're just not in the way, and looking gross in the middle of my city for no reason. So, yeah, I was really happy to get rid of that. I had these here a lot longer than I needed to, but, oh well. Doesn't matter too much. Here, I noticed they were complaining about not having enough water, so I looked at my electricity first, and I saw that I wasn't generating enough. So I added another coal power plant, that way I could just make sure that they have enough energy until I can afford the water turbines. And as I see that that doesn't... No, it does fix the water problem, yeah. Or at least I think it does. Yep. But my water availability is going way down. And I see my residential demand is really high. So I figure as I start continuing with the road for some reason, because the residential demand is so high, I'm going to continue with the road and continue to make some more money, or not. But, yeah. Right now I'm just gonna... I'm not connecting any of these to the main roads. That way it doesn't have as many intersections as the last one, and I can still have just as many houses. So I'm not losing out on any houses, and I'm saving traffic, which is a total win-win. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And here's where I realize I kind of screwed up on that outdoor road a little bit, so it was kind of pissing me off. I didn't want to leave it like that. It was really angering me. I wanted it to be symmetrical, so I do fix it. I don't know if it's going to be right away, but I know I fix it. I don't have enough money to fix it right now, not at all. But if I learned and unpaused the game, then maybe I would make some money, so that way I can afford it. But I don't unpause the game right this second. I decide to zone over here, so that way I can lower my residential demand until I can afford all the pipes and stuff. Now I unpause it, so I'll start making money again. So that way I can lay the pipe, so that way I can change all that residential and move it over here. I don't know if I'll have to totally dezone it. I don't think I will, thinking on it now. But I'll find out. I think if I'll have to delete every other road again. But I don't have to unzone everything. I can just build the roads in between there, which will be good. So I delete all those just because I wanted to make sure I get it right after I fix the road. I probably didn't have to do that, but I decided to. And then I kind of realized my industry didn't have a fire station, but I also didn't have the money to give them one, so I kind of just waited a minute until I had the money, and then I decided not to give them a fire station. I decided to give them nothing and build some road instead. So the reason I'm going out here, 2 extras, so going out 12 tiles or squares, is because that way it'll give me the perfect amount of zoning. That way I can maximize the amount of zoning size that I have for the houses. That's the reason I just moved it out 2 singular squares, was just to fix it. And I only went down 1 to make sure I did it right before I did the entire thing and wasted a bunch of money, which wouldn't have mattered because I just got a bunch of money and unlocked a bunch of wonderful stuff. I'll let you guys read that a little bit if you want to, or if you don't really care, that's fine too. A lot of that stuff was essential. The elder care and child care, not so much, but definitely a cemetery. That way, dead bodies don't start piling up, because after they give you the cemetery, and if you don't put one down, bodies will start piling up everywhere. It's just not good. So I make sure to get one in. And also at a police station for no particular reason. They didn't really need it, but I gave them one anyway. Because why not? I know they're gonna need it once I finish the zoning here. It'll be necessary for sure, but I'll probably have to end up moving it. But that's okay. Once I finish the zoning here and get people moved in, I'm gonna have to change up all the essential services a lot. And once I get the metro unlocked, that'll be really good, because then I can move people quickly and efficiently to the industry zone and stuff like that. So that way they don't have to decide not to work there because it's too long of a drive or stuff like that. So here I realized I didn't actually fix it, and that's the reason why I only did one. Why I only went down to the first street was because I didn't want to waste all the money that I had by doing the whole thing and then realizing I screwed it up, so having to redo the entire thing. So here I went out another 2 because I realized I was still missing 2 squares of the zoning. So I quickly just connect it back up and make sure it fits, which it will. Boom. Perfect. Build the road, me. There we go. And there. That's how that one's going to be set up, and that's how I'm going to change the other one to look. Just there will be another road going down, but not connected to that other main street or that other crossroad either. It'll be easier to show you once I build it, which will be in episode 4, but I don't mind telling you my plans now. So now I can start zoning this so people can move in. Again, keeping that 1 tile buffer so that way people do not build against the main road. Well, with their driveway facing it. Here I realize there's starting to be a garbage problem, so I pause it and I don't do anything with it. But I realized there was a fire down there, and I noticed how they had 0 fire coverage because it would take the fire truck a long time to get there. So I decided right away, before the entire industries burns down, I'll give them a fire station. That way I can save it. And yes, I put it on the opposite side, but that's because it's all going to be full at some point, hopefully at least. But I also need to add a dump because I noticed garbage is going to start being a problem. So, yeah. Then I added some zoning so that way the power could connect to the fire station. I realize I have almost 0 demand for it. That's why I only did a little bit, as much as I needed, basically. So, I found that little Twitter thing very funny. Police are now offering storage lockers. Call 911 for more info. That's just a terrible idea. You should never call 911 for info on your storage locker, but it was funny. It was funny. So here I'm just getting the water set up, and I figured while I have the money, I might as well do the entire thing since it's all going to be zoned anyway. And what I do is I put the water as, I put the pipes as to how I'm going to have the roads. That way it's kind of acting as a reminder for me, and it helps show you, I guess, how I'm going to plan out the road. So I noticed the sewage problem, and that we don't have enough income of water and output of sewage, so add another one of both. Try to put them as close together as possible so they don't take up too much space. And as soon as I can and have the money, I'm going to switch to the water treatment plant instead of those. That way I'm not polluting the water so much, because it looks disgusting to have a bunch of human shit just kind of going down the river, and it's very obvious, and it's just disgusting. So I want to get that out of there as fast as possible. So I was looking, I knew I was close to the end of the episode, so I was looking to see how much population was still needed for the next milestone. But that being said, that's all that happens in this episode. It wasn't too much growth, probably very boring, but it will get better, especially if you guys give me suggestions and stuff like that. Then my content will be super good. In the next episode, I'm going to focus on fixing and revamping my industry and my residential, and then upping my commercial a whole lot. But thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next episode.